This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, so watch me burn. Now, I don't know about you, but we seem to be getting the impression today from people in our nation and in our world that we're surrounded by darkness, i.e., negative things are happening in our country. Negative things, let there be light, and there was, are happening in our area. Negative news seems to be bombarding us from all directions, and negative challenges we have to face as we go through life. And we as people say negative things, and sometimes unintentionally do negative things. But in reality, there's also a bit of a wrestle going on in us, because we think there is a bit of goodness in us, that there is a little bit of hope in us. But it seems so little to have, the impact of it is so small. And we're trying to live with that reality. But this song and the video leaves us with a strong impression that there is a light that can have a big impact on us and the whole world. And so there must be another light, if that's the case, because I don't have that light. Our Prime Minister doesn't have that light. Donald Trump doesn't have that light. You know? Our neighbors don't have that light of themselves. So there must be another light. And if there is, what is it? And where do we get it? Jesus said this: I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Jesus, over 2,000 years ago, he came to the earth, and it was as if light just flooded the world, the known world. Jesus came, and he spoke words of hope, words of clarity, words of joy, words of peace. He took marginalized people from society and made them feel important. Those who were sick, he healed. Those who were mentally tormented, he fixed their minds. Those who were poor, he made feel significant and important. And where he faced and experienced the darkness of injustice, he challenged it and said, that's not right. This is right. He was seen as a revolutionary. Everything changed. And the result of all this light and all this hope and all this joy and all this peace that he was bringing into people's lives, the common people got excited, and they followed him wherever he went. He had tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in the nation of Israel following him, hanging on to every word that he spoke. Why? Because he brought light into their darkness, into their pain, into their sorrow, into their confusion, into their discombobulation. He brought light in. And he said to them, I am the light of the world. It's not a tree, it's not a star, it's not the sun, and it's not the moon. He said, I am the light of the world. And I'm the one who gave you the sun and the stars and the moon. I gave you the luminaries of the universe. I did it. And so that as you see them, you would remember, and as you benefited from their light and warmth, that you would remember that I, the creator of the universe, is the light of the world. And he said, if you put your trust in me, in what I've got to say, and in what I do for you, when I get to the cross and I die, that you might have life, and I rise again after 3 days, so that if you believe in me, you will have everlasting life and your sins forgiven. If you believe in what I am, what I'm doing, and what I'm about to do, you will walk in my light. I am the light of the world, and you will not walk in darkness. In other words, the darkness of life, the darkness of pain, the darkness of grief, the darkness of losing a job, the darkness of losing loved ones, the darkness of the stock market, the darkness of just doing things that you don't want to do, and having people do things to you that they shouldn't do to you, and the dark thoughts that come into our lives. He says, if you walk in my light by putting your trust in me, you will overcome the darkness. The darkness will not overcome you. And the key for this to occur is us giving him our allegiance. You know, when you hear about putting our faith in Jesus, it means putting your allegiance, giving him your allegiance. It doesn't mean that you understand everything, that you've got everything sorted out. But it means that you put your trust in him and say, I don't know everything, and I don't understand everything, but I trust you. I trust you. You are the light of the world. And therefore, I give you my allegiance. And I trust that you will reveal things to me as I go along. And he says, if we give him our allegiance, then he says, you become the light of the world. Matthew 5, verse 14. You become a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. And so Jesus says, if you put your trust in me, you give me your allegiance, then my light invades your light. And you, in turn, become the light of the world. And boy, does the world need light. Doesn't the world need light to see, to move forward? It's like when the world is going round and round in circles, in darkness, falling into pits, falling into snares, and so on. And so what is happening? The world is saying, we don't trust politicians, we don't trust teachers, we don't trust presidents, we don't trust kings and queens, we don't trust our neighbors, we don't even trust ourselves. The world needs light. And Jesus said, if you give me your allegiance, you will become the light of the world. Because my light will flow through you. My light will flow through you. And you will be like a city on a hill. And what does a city on a hill do? It brings direction, purpose. It can be seen. What is a city made up of? People. And Jesus said, I want to fill you with my light, so all people can see that there is light. And so everybody who turns and gives their allegiance to Jesus Christ becomes filled with his light. And they begin to shine bright. They begin to burn. And so what does that mean? Throughout history, you'll read of Christian scientists who did magnificent things. You'll read of Christian professors and academics and politicians who shone the light of Jesus into the world and caused the world to become a better place. I thank God for Wilberforce, because he shone the light of Jesus, which said that slavery is wrong, that it is demonic, that no human being should enslave another, that God came that we might have liberty and we might have freedom for all men and women, no matter what color. And he shone that light. And because of him, I'm not a slave today. Come on. Isaac Newton, what was the big thing he brought to us? Gravity. And so we have an understanding of gravity because of Isaac Newton, a Christian scientist. And then the guy who wrote this Amazing Grace, John. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. What's that about? I'll tell you what it's about. It's about the grace of God. The love of God took an enslaver, shone his light into his life. And he repented of his sins and said, no longer will I go to Africa and fill my ship with slaves. That is ungodly. I will not do that anymore. And he says, I'm going to spend my life telling people about the love and acceptance and grace of God. Whether they be white, black, brown, it doesn't matter. That's things like this and more is what happens when the light of Jesus shines into the world through his people that have given him his allegiance. Things changed for the better, and people are filled with hope. What is hope? The desire for good and the certainty I'll receive it in my lifetime. So if this is so good, why doesn't everybody know it? If this is the truth, why doesn't everybody walk in it? Why are we going round and round in darkness? Why does it seem like the darkness is overcoming us? The Bible teaches us that the God of this world, meaning the devil, has blinded the minds of unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. Let me read that again. The Bible teaches us that the God of this world, the devil, has blinded the minds of unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the good news of the glory of Jesus Christ, who is the image of God. There's a devil and he's a liar. And whether you believe in him or not, he does not care. The only thing that he's concerned about is that you do not turn to Jesus Christ. That's all he's concerned about. That doesn't happen. He doesn't care whether you believe in him or not, as long as you do not turn to Jesus Christ. And so, in the world, he's busy convincing people that Jesus isn't the light of the world, that Jesus is just a man who's 2,000 years ago, a historical figure, that he's irrelevant to today. Go into this philosophy. If you're spiritual, pursue this ideology. Look at this religion. Look at that way of living. Look at secularism. Look at everything but Jesus. And what we learn from history is that only Jesus changes things for the better. Oh, no one brings the hope that Jesus brings to the world. And even when we see that Christians have done stupid things and have done things that aren't right and aren't good and have misrepresented Jesus, the light of Jesus still shines forth strongly in the world. And that's why Christianity is the largest, most numerous religion in the world today. And that's why there continues to be millions of people turning to Jesus every day. Because even so, sometimes the church misrepresents Jesus. People can still see the difference, that Jesus is full of love, full of peace, full of joy, and he is good. And when you trust him, regardless of the mistakes other people make around you, because we're all works in progress, that Jesus you can stand on. You can he is true. He is faithful. And so, you've heard the message today. The devil doesn't want you to hear this, because he wants you to keep going round in your darkness. He's not happy with me right now, because I've exposed his lie. And you've heard about Jesus, that he loves you, that he's good, and he came to rescue you from darkness and fill you with hope. Does that mean you won't have any sorrow? No. Does that mean you won't have any pain? Does that mean you won't experience unemployment or confusion? No, because that's life. It's all part of life. But what it does mean is that you have the power to overcome that disappointment, power to overcome the disillusion, power to overcome the pain, because you're going to be abounded in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of Jesus. Jesus is the light of the world. And if you would like to get to know Jesus, then I'd love you to come and talk to me at the end of this service. And I'd love to just tell you more about this Jesus who I love so much. And I'm so proud of him. He is the light of the whole world.